Hi, my name is Juan Camilo González. I'm 15 years old and I study in City School in Bogota, Colombia. So, do you believe anything is impossible? Well, why don't we just change the question and see what if everything was possible? Sounds pretty good. Everyone should be happy and everyone could have whatever they want whenever they want. But let's look at the other side. Let's talk about laws. Laws are boundaries and limits that help us to keep peace and order in our world. But why have laws when you can just do whatever makes you happy without any limit? Why have laws if you can just do whatever you wish? Why have police if you can just disappear from a crime scene? Why have prisons if you can just break out of them? Impossible is necessary to maintain law and order in our world. Our whole world is shaped by the impossible. Impossible is not only the basis of law and order, it's also the basis of our natural laws, like death. Overpopulation is already a world's problem. Imagine it without anyone dying. Imagine how miserable life would be and how overcrowded the world would be. Natural laws are limits that are imposed to us in order to keep the world and humanity. The whole world is composed of different ecosystems that are perfectly balanced, and if we break that balance, which we are already doing, the whole world would collapse. Another natural law I would love to break is the one that doesn't allow us to fly. You might be thinking right now, what about airplanes? What about helicopters? Well, they do fly, but when we come to the real goal that we wanted to achieve, which was flying like a bird, well, we still haven't accomplished that. If a guy jumped from the third floor and tried to fly, he will probably not succeed. But I have to add, that is not bad. Impossible is good and necessary for us. And just imagine, if everyone just suddenly could fly. Millions of people depend on the wages they get from transporting persons from one place to another through air. Poverty and unemployment will increase extremely fast. As I said before, our whole society is perfectly balanced, and if a single thing changes, the whole cycle gets affected. So let's give another example, breathing underwater. Nowadays, we've got air tanks that allow us to explore the underwater world freely, but only with time limit. Imagine that just by ourselves, we could breathe underwater without any restriction. Sounds good. Humans could be able to develop underwater civilizations such as Atlantis. But water contamination is already a world's problem. Imagine thousands of people throwing their trash to the ocean. Plus, how many underwater creatures will be forced to move and adapt to a new environment because us humans took their habitat. Even living outside the water, that is happening. So if you think about it, not being able to fly or breathe underwater is not such a bad thing. You might be thinking, okay, so why don't we cancel airplanes, helicopters, and air tanks? Why is humanity and nature able to live with it without causing such major damage in our society? And the answer is very simple. And it is that humans figure out a way to adapt and respect to our boundaries and limits. And at the same time develop machines that will allow us to fly and breathe underwater without causing such a major damage in the cycle for which we have been part through millions and millions of years. We are able to achieve the same goal by respecting our boundaries that protect us, not only limit us. In conclusion, no matter what Adidas says, impossible is not nothing. Impossible is good and necessary. Our whole world is shaped by our natural laws that help us to keep our balance between our surroundings and ourselves. Impossible helps us to keep our boundaries, which we have had during long centuries, that not only help us, but other living things and ecosystems. And we can still achieve the same goal without crossing the boundaries that keep us from chaos and enjoy flying and breathing underwater with new machines that do not trespass the impossible. We should respect impossible, but at the same time, try to get as close as possible to these boundaries to achieve our dreams.